Montessorians, how do we deal with kids that are not peaceful yet in our environments? Again, the biggest recommendation for me is connection before correction. Connection has a very deep meaning for me. Connection for ourselves. Are we connected to ourselves? Mind and heart, and maybe gut. Those three parts of our brain. Those three parts of our brains. Remember, we not only create thought only through the mind. Our gut and our heart influences our thoughts if we allow it, if we permit it. So connection before correction is first connect with ourselves and then check, do we have a connection with that child at that moment? You know when you're connected to that child, there's a certain flow of energy. We know when we lose it and we know when we have it. It has to do with respect. It has to do with listening. It has to do with being in the same wavelength of intention, okay? So connecting with them before we correct is crucial. If we don't have that connection, we gotta listen to our heart first and then establish that connection. And so the first step that I recommend, it's approaching the child with love, leading from our hearts, living through the heart at this moment, and observe. When a child notices that you notice without judgment, that you're observing, they have a special connection. They have a special level of trust. Because if you're connecting with them, in some way, you're holding their space. You're saying indirectly, you're trying the best you can, you're doing the best you can, something's happening, but I'm here to hold you. When I say, let them see you, it doesn't mean like I'm looking at you, no. It means, okay, I'm discovering something through your actions. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. There's a curiosity about me with what's happening. Approaching the child with curious observation is very, very important. Once you've observed and there's that connection, that entrainment, I want to say, perhaps at that moment you could move the child out of the center of the environment or move them to a place where you guys can have a conversation. Not necessarily outside, because we don't want it to be like a negative feeling towards what's happening, but into a place where there can be a soft, gentle, loving inquiry process. We, as guides, can help them figure out how their body's feeling. What is that sensation in your body? You can support yourself with cards or with visuals. Every sensation in the body, in a way, is connected to an emotion. What emotion does that sensation bring? For example, if the sensation is a very fast heartbeat or a very quick breath, then in a way we are maybe a little dysregulated. That's not necessarily what we say, or they'll say, my heart's beating really fast. I'm really angry. So see, there's a sensation and then there's an emotion. We can help them to figure that out, always taking them within to their inside of their body. And this is where their compass of their wisdom will come alive. So how's your body feeling right now? What is that emotion that you have? The fourth step would be, do you think there's a breath that can help you right now to maybe calm that heartbeat or support you in the way that you're feeling? And if they've been present with the breath and they know a lot of breath patterns, so the happy breathing animal patterns, then they'll be able to name whichever breath that they feel that they need. Then first, our heart coherence connection. Then observations, observing without judgment, observing from the heart, and then separating them or having them be in a place with you, and then supporting them to feel their body, to feel the sensations in the body, and then to name emotions. This is how we can work with children that are rowdy. Now, in case our child in the moment is not ready to engage in this loving inquiry process, then we wait until they can, until they're receptive, until their nervous system is a little bit more calm on its own, and then they're able to process this information. We cannot force this process. We have to be in a place where we're both coherent with each other. And it'll come. It'll come, hopefully on the same day and very close to when something happens. If it's far away from when it happened, like maybe 3 days later, it's not going to have the same effect. Some children might not even remember how their body was feeling. So, trick here is breathe, feel the body, name the emotion. Breathe, and the cycle goes on and on and on.